And I said, come on over, you'll say.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Town of Portland podcast. With us in the studio is our first selectman, Mr. Ryan Curley, and we are doing our post-election podcast. So, hi, Ryan. How you doing?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
This election kind of didn't never end here. My God.
Did something happen? I don't know.
Jeez, I don't know. Anyway, so how's things going? You keeping busy?
Yeah. We've got a lot of balls in the air. I know you know all about that.
For sure. So I guess, top of the obviously the election was took up most of the oxygen in the room this week and so forth. So, any comments?
Yeah, so let's dive into that. So I think what you saw in Portland this year, it almost felt like the presidential race took second billing on the ballot in Portland this year. At least that's how it felt for me in regards to the two referendum questions that we had pertaining to Portland,
right?
But particularly the elementary school question.
Right.
And so I want to just start off by saying that the election in Portland was a tremendous success. So I want to thank all of our poll workers, our registrar of voters, and also our town clerk. And let me tell you, this year was a lot different. One, as I know as a former town clerk, presidential election years are always
busy.
They're always busy. And every 4 years ago, we were in the midst of COVID, and we had a big number of absentee ballots, you may recall back then, which was a challenge. And then this year was the first year of early voting. And that was, I would say, a fantastic success for Portland. And many of our residents took advantage of both early voting and absentee ballots before the election. So as of Election Day, 46% of our voters had already voted before the polls even opened on Tuesday.
Wow, that speaks a lot.
Yeah, so I think it's a very popular thing. I think that I'm hoping that the state looks at the length of time that early voting's open and all that. It is expensive for the towns to run this because we have to have all those poll workers in to do it, but it's a tremendous service, and I hope it continues. And it's a good thing for democracy, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. And again, kudos to all of the poll workers that not only at the early voting, room in the town hall, but also up at the school and so forth. They did a great job.
They sure did. Yeah, no, it takes many hands to pull off an election like that, but we do a pretty good job in Portland, historically speaking, and this year was no different. And so, I definitely want to thank everyone for their help on that.
Excellent.
So we'll get to the results.
Okay, do that.
So
survey says
water yes, schools no.
Okay.
And so we'll get into that. I think we'll start with the schools because that was the big ticket item, it felt like, for residents in town, and it certainly was the most expensive option. It was a $68 million bonding question, and it would have been $33 million to the town that the town would have bonded. And so the voters spoke loud and clear. I think it was about 60% of voters said no, that was not their preferred option, to 40% yes.
Okay.
And so I know that the Board of Selectmen, we had a meeting last night, and also I know the Board of Education. We got to get together and figure out
where we're going,
a plan B. And
yes.
So unfortunately, this question was very divisive and polarizing, I think, in town, and it's I'm happy that it's over and that we got to start, in my opinion, working on the things that we can all agree on, and then go from there. And so this plan is not something that will be coming back. And so we're looking at what happens next.
Yep.
And one of the things that I know the Board of Selectmen and the town seems to all agree on is that we have to fix up the buildings that we have. I think everyone understands that we have to do something with our buildings. The question's always been on what.
Yeah.
And so we had a process to get to this question on the ballot. That didn't work, and so now we gotta take another deep look at all of our buildings and really, I think, figure out strategically how we can get the most for the dollar to keep these buildings safe and healthy for learning for our students. And so I also heard I think that $33 million is too much to the Portland taxpayer, and I certainly understand that. It's never easy when you ask voters to put more money in for anything.
Right.
Education. I know it's a tough time for people, and so that's one of the things that I heard is the price tag was too much, and I think it was likely too much change for a lot of voters.
Yeah.
And so. So looking ahead, it looks that like the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Education will be hosting a special joint meeting.
Yes.
And I think it's important that we all get together and we all kind of figure out this next step, because we all have to work together now.
Yes.
And I know the voters in town are expecting us to put forward a plan that makes sense to them and that the majority of the town can get behind. And so that's what I'm committed to doing. And it's likely going to be fixing up the buildings that we have. It's likely going to be some type of capital improvement plan. And I know I've heard some that have floated the idea of potentially decommissioning one of the schools because of potential overhead savings, that if we could do it in a way that I think wouldn't interfere with any learning for our students, I think that it would be it's something that we should take a deeper dive into. And so that special joint meeting is likely going to be on Tuesday, November 12th at 6 p.m. in the Portland High School Media Center.
Okay.
And so we're working to confirm that. So if you're watching this later, check back. That meeting date will be on the town website, and it'll be on, I'll make sure it's on social media as well, because I'm sure there's a lot of interest in this, Dave. And,
Absolutely.
And so we all know we got to do something, and we got to get back to work. And the voters have spoken, and I'm looking forward to working with our superintendent, the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Education to get what works right for the voters in town.
Absolutely. Well, aging infrastructure is a problem that basically plagues every town, not only in Connecticut, but across the country. So, I mean, that's all part of the puzzle. And, when you've got, the Brownstone School, for instance, that was our high school way back in the day. It's an old building. It's an old building, so, figuring out that puzzle on, what the best path forward is going to be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So more to come on that.
Good.
But anyways, I'm just glad that we had such a high turnout at the polls, because that was one of the priorities for the Board of Selectmen. We said whatever path we were going to take, we wanted to make sure that the most amount of residents would be able to make their voice
their
heard.
opinion.
Exactly. And so we had about a 91% voter turnout,
Wow.
which is incredible.
That's super.
So thank you for everyone who participated in that. And so we'll move on to the positive news, which is our water, which passed overwhelmingly. About 80% of the voters said yes to should we take out up to a $6 million bond to complete the water independence project that is currently underway.
Yes.
We are hard at work on that, and I'm going to update you on that next. But I think that is it's a really good sign that shows that voters understand the importance of this for the town.
Sure.
And they're willing to support this project as we move forward with it, because they see the potential of having our own water supply.
Absolutely.
For the town.
Have that sustainability and that water independence for sure. And I mean, we're 75% there now. I mean, so let's get it in the end zone.
Well, I don't. We're getting close. Yeah, we're getting close. So what passed at the polls this time was the what we would need to build a pump house and a water treatment facility, which would be at the somewhere at the Portland Recreational Complex, and then we would tie that into
the system.
Our system. What was already funded is some work that's currently underway now, and so yes, we're well underway. The project's going forward. I would say the biggest thing that we have ahead of us is coming hopefully around Thanksgiving. So just a few weeks, and the production well will be being installed at the recreational complex, and so that's the big ticket item. It was already funded, as you may remember, at a special town meeting back in August. But that production well is going to be critical. Getting that up, getting that drilled, and then doing the necessary pump testing on that.
Sure.
That's going to tell us, because right now we've got test wells that have told us that we have the water, we got the potential and the potential water quality. But to me, it doesn't become reality until we get that full production well and we hit those numbers and those targets that we've been working for. And I don't need to tell you, Dave, I know you've been part of this a long time, and I know you're excited about this as well.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things that just finished up last week was the monitoring wells were installed at the rec complex. And so there was a number of wells installed. They did 3 drilling areas. So and they went down up to almost 360 feet, I believe, was some of the deeper areas. But it was very successful in that the soils that came out of the drilling were very much what GZA had anticipated was there. And so what you saw was the 2 clay layers. There's one that's not too far down, but then there's a very deep clay layer. And that's really what we're hoping for, is that by going down so far that you really get that tremendous water quality.
Exactly.
And that's what we're looking at. And so everything kind of lined up with that. The soils looked good, and we're really excited about that. The monitoring wells were able to be leveled off, so you don't even really know that they're there. They're kind of covered up at the rec complex, but they're not going to interfere with any of the athletic games
activities.
Nothing like that. So
Nice.
So that's really great to see. And then so that production well will be installed around Thanksgiving. It's going to take about a month.
Yeah.
And so one of the, as you know, it's been very dry weather over here.
Extremely dry.
And as a side note, the Board of Selectmen passed an emergency fire open burn ban last night. We passed an emergency ordinance, so there is none open burning of any kind for the next 31 days per this ordinance, or until our fire marshal determines that it's safe to do so. So I do want to mention that. But one of the things that we talked about with our well was that we liked the dry weather because we want to do the pump testing when it's dry.
Absolutely.
And so we were thinking that, oh, great, this weather's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we had a meeting with Deep last week, and they said, well, now it's too dry. And so it's too dry right now, so which is okay, because as I mentioned, the well's going to be installed later this month. It's going to take about a month, so we're hoping by likely January the conditions have improved and we're ready for that pump testing.
Yes.
But that is a change, so I want to mention that as we work through this process.
Yeah. Well, and you know that. January 1, 26 there is our deadline, as far as where our contract is due with MDC.
That is true, and we have met with MDC, and we are working through that as well. So we'll see more to come on that. So then I'll give you an update on Brainerd Place, if you've driven by that.
My gosh, it's coming together nicely. God.
It's coming. They're ready to open, or they're chomping at the bit right now.
Sure.
To get some tenants in there, and so I know they're just about ready to get a CO for Building E. That's the first apartment building, and that will be coming very soon. I think there's some items that our fire marshal is requiring, and a couple other things that have to get done. But once that CO comes, people can start moving in, which is great.
Sure. Now, is there a process for rental applications forward? Or?
Right now, I would go to the website. It's brainerdplace.com.
Okay.
And there's a process where you can get the information on the rentals. So yes, now's the time if you're interested in getting in there.
It's going to be nice.
Definitely reach out. It looks really nice. And also, it's going to be nice is the Starbucks that's opening up there.
Yes.
So I know you're anxious to get your lattes over there, Dave.
Absolutely.
And so Eversource got the power in there. We got the meters in there a week or two ago. And so now Starbucks just has to upfit their building. And last I heard, they were aiming for January opening. I haven't heard otherwise on that. So that is coming very soon. And that's exciting as well.
Well, that was interesting because getting the power in there, I have one of our students is vice president at Eversource, and he says that was a $28 million project, getting power because they had to run power all the way from the substation to make that happen.
Wow.
So he says most of their, new initiatives are $1 million, $1.5 million. And he says this was $28 million.
Well, one thing I've learned about Brainerd Place is nothing is cheap over there.
For sure. Just add money and stir.
Some other economic development news. I know a lot of people are curious about the Nordic Spa that's coming to town. And I did get an update from them yesterday. And they were hoping to have broken ground right now.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're probably held up likely to the end of the month. And so that will be starting very soon. So I hope with the next podcast update, I will be talking about the construction that's taking place over there.
Well, I don't know if you got the meeting notice for the Exchange Club, but the representative from Nordic Spa is going to be presenting at the Exchange Club meeting next week.
Yes,
so we'll be able to ask some questions, and we'll probably get some more definitive information on the timelines and so forth.
Absolutely. So no, we're excited for that, and that is moving ahead.
Good.
So a couple other things to talk about. One is leaf pickup is starting with our Public Works Department December 2nd. So make sure that you get, if you'd like to participate in this, please put your bags out, put the leaves in paper bags in order to have them picked up.
Plastic bags are not accepted.
That is correct, Dave. So no plastic bags, please. Let's see. November 11th, Monday coming up is Veterans Day.
Yes.
And so in Portland, we'll have a ceremony at a wreath laying at 11 a.m. at Veterans Memorial Park right outside of Town Hall. So I encourage all to attend. And then Malili's is once again, and you got to give it up to Sebi and his family for hosting a Veterans Day dinner. They do this annually. It's at 6 p.m. at Portland High School on that Monday, November 11th. And tickets are available for that in the town clerk's office, and Quonset Hut sells the tickets as well. Yep. And I encourage any veteran to attend. It's really a nice evening. I know I'll be there. I don't know if I think you may have retired from.
I have retired, but I have an invitation. Dave Rudder came down and he says, "Look," he says, "here's your ticket. I want you to be there." I says, "Okay, I'll be there."
All right. Well, you might get called up to be a celebrity guest on the mic, Dave. You got to watch out.
Whatever.
You got to watch out. But that's great. We're excited for that, and that's coming up. Another thing is I did post about this on social media, but I want to give a special thanks to our Public Works Department for installing 2 new radar speed signs. On our rural roads. We had one installed on Cox Road and also one on Thompson Hill Road. And both of those were paid for with a high-risk rural roads grant that the town received. And so whenever there's an opportunity to get those radar signs, especially with grant funds, we'll always jump at it because we do want to keep the speed down on our main roads and our back roads. And speeding's probably one of the calls that I get the most is how can we get the speed down in town, and we want people to be safe out there. Yeah. So those signs have been proven to work, and
they're statistically they do make a difference.
They get you slow down, Dave?
Yeah.
Good. Good. So those are my updates. I think today. Do you have any questions or anything, dude?
Well, I think the other thing too, we had Ryan O'Halpin has moved on, so we have our public works director's position that is open now and so forth. So I think we have a few applicants and going from there. But we wish Ryan well. I mean, he's done a great job, in his tenure as DPW director and doing a great job.
Yeah, no, Ryan's great. I miss him already, but he's still working with us, and
Yes.
he's still helping out. I just spoke with him yesterday evening, actually, and so he's doing well. And but we are hiring. So if anyone may be listening and knows someone or may be interested themselves in a career at Town Hall, please go to the Portland Town website and take a look, because we got to get that public works director position filled, Dave. You're absolutely
exactly.
right.
And the website is portlandct.org. So
There it is.
and it's right on the homepage. You can look at. I think there's a police officer's job that's also posted on there.
I think so.
Oh yeah,
I think you're
and so
right.
forth. But anyway,
true.
great, fantastic. So we got Thanksgiving is coming up. What's your plans for Thanksgiving?
That's right.
Are you cooking?
I am. Where am I going? I think my mom's hosting this
Oh, okay.
year, and actually, I just became an uncle, which is pretty
I
cool.
I saw her up at the high school. I was, I'm walking the track, and she was getting there. I got a late start one morning, and she was getting there. I says, "How you doing?" And she did mention that. So you're an uncle now.
I'm an uncle, yeah. So that's exciting. So this will be a fun Thanksgiving with the family. And what about yourself? What are you doing?
Well, we're having it at the house. My son is he takes the task of cooking the turkey. So and everybody brings a dish, so that works out. So
Oh, that's nice.
he cooks his turkey. He buries it in the ground. He cooks it for 24 hours.
Wow.
So and it's usually brings it in a pan. I mean the meat falls off the bone. It's delicious. So but anyway. But, I'll have to forego the diet or walk a few extra laps at the high school or doing something.
Sounds good. Well, yeah, Dave, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving, and to all the viewers as well, happy Thanksgiving.
For sure. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I think if you don't have anything else, Rylan, we can wrap up this episode of the Town of Portland podcast. And again, we are here live in the studio at Connecticut Valley School of Music and with our first selectman, Mr. Ryan Curley. So from all of us to all of you, happy Thanksgiving, and stay safe for the holidays. And we will catch you next month, hopefully, for our December podcast. So that is all. Thank you.